And we are, well, not live, but live for me and you. Welcome to the Grind Zero podcast, Tam.
What's going on? How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I am good, my friend. So you are my fourth or fifth podcast virgin, which I enjoy taking the virginity. That's always good. How's your Sunday? Is it good?
Yeah. Oh, it's pretty good so far, man. Like right here, what are we? We're over the pond, right? So we're across the pond. So what are we, like 5 hours apart? So right here it's 9 a.m.
Oh, I've got you
so far
early.
so good. Yeah, I enjoy bright and early, so I could get the rest of my day done.
Yeah, I know.
With the kiddos.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had my two. Well, I don't know if it's still a big thing over there, but obviously the elf on the shelf. So we have to every day we have to hide or do something with the fucking elf. So my two little uns this morning, they were, well, I say little uns, one's 9, one's 6. They're up cracker sparrows searching for this elf, and I hid it in like a biscuit tin, cookie jar, you might want to call it, from over there.
Yeah.
With cookies all over its face and that. They are the excitement. I love it. I love the excitement that they have, because it's still magical to them. They've run upstairs thinking that this elf has magically got into a cookie jar. It's brilliant. I love it.
It's the stuff that's keeping the kids, a little innocent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just keeps the kids a little innocent and having some fun. Instead of, the type of the world we live in now. Everybody has to grow up too fast, and everything's going too fast.
Yeah, it's the phones and the internet and iPad, pods, everything. Like me and my eldest have started watching Stranger Things, and obviously that's set in the 80s. And she's like,
oh yeah,
and she's like, oh, they're out on their bikes and it's like dark. I'm like, yeah, those were the days, my love. Those were the days. Like, I grew up in the 90s, but even then we were out on the bikes, out until like past the street lights coming on,
Oh yeah.
Going off to the quarry and things like that, and like just making mischief. And she's like, can I do that? Absolutely not. No, you can't. Why not? Because there's creatures out there that want to steal you. That's why. You stay at home.
God's honest truth.
So I've noticed. Are you from Philly? Do you live?
I am.
Do you live there now, or not? Or yeah, no.
I live on the borders of Philadelphia now. Ever since I came back, I just had to get away from the city life because of all the stuff that goes on around there. So I'm out of here in a nice calm, collective suburban area. So
yeah,
it's a slower pace.
Nice. That's what you want when you get older, isn't it? You want to just slow down. You want to be stuck getting fucking in this. But to be fair, I've never really lived in a big city at all. I like the city that I grew up in is tiny. Like, I don't even know if it's only classed as a city because it's got a cathedral, and over here that counts as a city. But other than that, I've like all the military bases the military base I served in was in the middle of nowhere. Where I live now is pretty much in the middle of nowhere. So I've always been in the middle of nowhere. It's nice. But the reason why I brought up Philly, growing up, not so much now. I've sort of like stopped following American sports really. But I was always a Sixers fan.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah, Philadelphia 76ers is my team. Growing up, obviously Iverson, he was a fucking hero for me.
Oh, the fucking answer.
Yeah, mate. Well, growing up, so I used to play basketball a lot growing up as a kid. Even though I'm a midget. I'm 5'6", so I'm a small man. But I used to play basketball quite a decent level, and my hero is obviously Iverson, being a smaller player playing against these giants and not giving a shit. So I've always followed like Sixers and that, and then I was like, well, if I'm following Sixers, I might as well follow the Eagles as well. Why not? Like anything like American sports, Philadelphia is where I'm at. That's my. Yeah.
That's what's up, dude.
Yeah, so we've got something in common already. But yeah, so we have got in comms together through mutual friend of Josh Palmer. So
yes.
So I first met Josh. He apart from the podcast, he doesn't remember me. So I first met him when I first started sort of MMA style training. I did a bit of jiu-jitsu and what have you. And he twisted me up like a pretzel a lot. I think he was a purple belt back then. It was about 10 years ago. And I was like, who is this guy that fucking is destroying me? Like, didn't look athletic at all, but fucking hell, he was doing all this damage to me. And I was like, I was a fit sort of semi-pro boxer style military guy. And I was like, this guy shouldn't be beating me up. Fucking destroyed me.
Oh, that's a mutual. That's how I met Josh too as well. At the time I met him, I think I was about 5 months into my jiu-jitsu journey. I was a white belt, and I was you know we were high. We were high, like you get that feeling when you just. When a lot of people, they get that bug, when you love it so much. So I live in Philadelphia, but where Josh was training in South Jersey, which is about a 45-minute drive from where I live at. So, but they always have open mats and stuff like that. So I attend these open mats, and that's where I met Josh, and he introduced himself to me. I believe he was a purple belt at that time too as well. And he introduced me. He introduced himself to me. And he mentioned to me about how he trained with military folks and stuff like that across over there at the pond.
Yeah.
And but before he introduced himself to me, we bumped in fist, and we slap hand, bump fist, and he beat the shit out of me. he didn't care. He didn't give a shit if I was a fucking bilateral amputee. He just fucking choked me out, and he just fucking bow and arrowed me, and he knee on belly me, and he said, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. I was like, okay, thank you very much. So that's what I love about jiu-jitsu, is that when you get on the mat, it doesn't matter if you're a fucking amputee or a quadruple amputee or a triple amputee. You're on the mat, you're on the ground, you're on the same fucking level playing field. He beat the shit out of me. Yeah, he didn't give a shit. But at the end, he did try to make me feel better. He said, your jiu-jitsu is pretty good. I'm like, get the F out of here, dude. My fucking jiu-jitsu is shit.
I unfortunately I haven't done much rolling for a while. I've done a bit, but each time I get back on the mat, I get humbled, like, all the time. I'm like, still learning, and I get frustrated, but then I'm like, oh, I gotta do some more. Then you get humbled again. And you're like, oh, how did you do that? I gotta do some more. So I remember that when I first did it, when I first started MMA and I first started doing a bit of rolling, and my missus was like, how did you find it? And I went, oh, I got choked out a lot. And she went, oh, you're not going back then? I went, no, I need to go back, because I need to know how the fuck he did that to me, so I can do it back to him. You know what I mean? And it just keeps spiraling like that, doesn't it? It is a bug. It is a good bug.
It is. It's a very healthy bug. I was very lucky and to come across. I mean, like we did a little bit of that stuff here when I was in the military, but I mean, I was into it at first, because I didn't realize what it was all about. Because in the military we didn't, it wasn't called jiu-jitsu, it was called combatives. I was like, okay. And I didn't know that in combatives you were allowed to do all that stuff. And when I come out into the civilian world, I needed something, and I found it. And I know there's more to it than the stuff that we learned in the military. And it brought me back in, and I loved it, man. I love every single. No, I loved it. I mean, I still love it. I love the shit out of it. I mean, my fucking garage has got fucking jiu-jitsu mats all over the place, and it's insane. It's insane.
Awesome. It is awesome, and in terms for the listeners of the podcast to realize about why I started this podcast through mental health sort of issues. It's my journey through my own issues that I've got. And things like jiu-jitsu are brilliant for that because of the mental aspects that it's a fucking human chess game. Like, I put my hand here, he's going to go there, so I need to go over here. I need to do it. And just constantly move, like, physically, it's fucking knackering. So tiring. Having the weight of someone else on you, and you have to try and move them, and then you have to think at the same time. Whoo! You know, it's good. It's good. I highly recommend it.
It's so great that you brought that up. It's so great that you brought that up because I mean, little did I know that, man, that fucking, it's amazing how so similar it is. You know, yes, it's great for us ourselves as in, you know, as our veterans and we have our, you know, issues, whatever, you know, because, you know, when I, you know, I mean, I'm diagnosed with PTSD and TBI. So, but when, you know, and I was going through a lot of shit and all this whatever, but you know, little did I know that fucking jiu-jitsu fucking helped out so much in that fucking area, man, dude. You know, it brought back, you know, the structure that I needed. It brought back the fucking motivation that I once had, you know. And yeah, it's just to be able to, you know, it's almost I wouldn't say we're back in combat or whatever, but you know, but just to have our minds, you know, motivated again and thinking again and have that rank structure like we have, you know, the belts where they're, you know, the colors of the belts is like the rank structure of our in the military. And you know, the discipline we need. Yeah, the discipline that I need, you know, to fucking to cope with
also,
it. And,
it's also got that comradeship as well.
Oh yeah. I love it.
It doesn't matter if fucking Joe Bloggs puts you in an armbar. You're like, shit, that's fucking, like, let's get back to it and fucking get on with it. It's just awesome, I think. And well, loads of different, like, as much as I never really appreciated it in terms of physical activity, but obviously things like CrossFit as well, when they've got that community, like, so you got jiu-jitsu, you've got their community, you got CrossFit, have got a community, and well, fuck it, vegans have got a community. It seems like all these different communities, but then it's what a lot of people, especially military people, that leave the military for whatever, whether it's an injury like yourself or for me it was family reasons why I left. You lose that sense of community, that comradeship, and that's where a lot of these issues come from. Well, for me, with my depression and that was the fact that I didn't have my team anymore. I didn't have my self-purpose, my self-worth. So that's why I went down on my downward spiral, was because I was like, well, I've lost everything. Luckily for me, I joined well, as you guys would call it, I joined a soccer team. It was only a little five-a-side kickabout with two of my ex-servicemen that I served with. So I had a little bit of like a Monday night. We go, right, we got football tonight. I'm getting it. It's like the best day of the week. But first day of the week, best day of the week, and then the rest of the week, I'm like, oh, I can't wait till Monday. But you know, and then trying to find a local gym to do some jiu-jitsu in was finding quite difficult. Now they seem to be sprouting up now, where like I type in Google and I'm like, oh fuck, there's one down the road. I'll join that. And there's another guy that I used to do sort of outdoor military style boot camp training, physical activity for civilians and that. The main instructor there, he's humbled me a few times now. He's actually a purple belt himself, and he's got all the mats and that in his house. So I'm like, oh, I'll just come around and see you of an evening. You know what I mean? It's like all these little things that you can pick up, and it's just awesome. And yeah, but you can't take away from the comradeship that jiu-jitsu has as a global family, you might say.
No, I have to absolutely agree with you there because, you know, I mean, I've competed in so many tournaments and it brought back, you know, I ran into a couple of people that served in the same division in the same unit and
awesome.
That I've served in, and we've been in the same combat zone areas and stuff like that. And this is all brought together by jujitsu, you know, and it's unbelievable. I mean, it can also, I mean, look at what's going on right now. I mean, we're having an in common conversation about a sport that we enjoy doing, and it's all. And but then it's not just that. It's just we're doing the same sport, and we're also served our countries too as well. And and it's a very, very, very tight camaraderie. And I totally agree with you there. Without my comrades, I was lost. I truly was lost. It's just,
and
the point.
As much as the US and the UK have that inter-country rivalry, a little bit of banter that we have between ourselves, it's like, even now, I still chat with some US Marines that I served with over in Afghanistan on my final tour. I still send them a message now and then saying, "Hi, how are you doing?" And then it's like, by the way, our fucking basic training was longer than yours, and you're supposed to be elite, but whatever. Little things like that. But it's fucking brilliant. And I've had a few different serving members of the US Armed Forces on the show now, which is good. I had Josh Bridges, former Navy SEAL, CrossFit athlete. He's been on. Liz Carmouche, the powerful Liz Carmouche from former UFC title challenger. And then recently, Adam Dorito, who's obviously going through his problems with his cases against the US military with all the sexual abuse scandals and things. That's a crazy story. That he's been on a couple of times, and I'm still not getting my head around his story. And now yourself. So I think I've had the tri-services now having you on as the Army.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm very happy to be on. That, I mean, like I said, man, thank you so much. And this is like I said, this is my first podcast, but it's pretty cool.
It's a good format. I used to love just listening to podcasts, and it's crazy that you can get like we're doing is over Zoom. Like, I'm in the UK in a small area in Kent. You're in the outskirts of Philly, and we're having a conversation. It's madness when you think about it. Technology is crazy shit, and the funniest thing is we're having a decent. I've got a decent connection with no technical difficulties. Touch wood. Like, I had a call with my brother last week. Last week my brother was my guest on the show, and our connection was fucking terrible. Like, he sounded like a robot. He was cutting in and out, and I'm like, fuck, I can't be bothered with this. We almost didn't bother doing it. And now fast forward a week, I'm talking to a guy in Philly, and the connection is perfect. It's weird. It's madness. So anyway, Tam. So back to it. By the way, we love a tangent on the Granite Zero podcast. So if you feel like a tangent, just go with it. It's not a problem. But so you served in the US Army. Was it infantry? I think you said part of the infantry.
Yes. I served in infantry, the US Army infantry.
Happy days. And you went to the lovely desert areas, the same as me.
Love it. Love the heat.
Desert. Some say we're still in the desert. It's craziness. So we sort of semi-touched on it when you were going through your little journey through jiu-jitsu, but you're is it W amputee?
Yes, I'm a bilateral amputee. Yep, I was wounded in combat through an IED, went off right beside my vehicle. Took off both my legs. I mean, that's really it. What can I say?
Yeah. Do you know what? It's quite funny. So not that story's not funny. I just want to clear that up. When I first, sorry, something in my eye. It's doing my nose. When I first was going through my mental health issues, I went to therapy, and I was talking about some of the things that happened. Not that something like what you went through happened, but things like rocket attacks and and that, and potentially going out each time I went out on the ground. The same sort of situation may have happened to myself. And the way I was talking about it was very similar to how you just described it. Very blasé, and well, it is what it is. That's not that that's what I signed up for, but that's what I was sort of expecting may happen. And she was like, "How can you do that? How can you talk about it so calmly?" He was like, "Well, I never saw it as an issue. That was what we're trained to do. Not that we're trained to get blown up, but we're trained to react in ways that, you know, that a civilian probably wouldn't understand." Like, I remember saying to my missus, like, if I heard the rocket alarm going off and I was in bed, I'm just going to roll over and go back to sleep. And she's like, "Why would you do that?" I went, "Well, if it hits the tent, I'm dead. So I might as well be comfortable." And she's like, "You can't." She's like, "Well, that's just how the military are. You know, we have that sort of dark sense of humor. A bit like how you said, I was out on patrol, I hit an ID, and now half the man I used to be." It's like,
exactly.
It's like, what would we want? So
exactly. I mean, like, yeah, it's just exactly what we were trained for it. We knew what we were going to, sign up for. We knew, I mean, but we didn't know what was going to happen to us, but we just knew what may happen. But little did we know little did I know that it was going to happen. But luckily, we were trained for it. The man that saved my life, the man that pulled me out of the vehicle, he trained for it like I did, and he saved my life. It wasn't for what he did, It wasn't for my whole entire my platoon, my squad, what they did, So, yeah, but and the other thing is that it is absolutely funny because when I was speaking to another person about my situation, that person said the exact same thing. He said, "I'm walking around." He goes, "I'm walking around here with a bad knee and everything, and I hear your story. It makes me feel like I'm a fucking pussy, And I'm like, I don't feel like a pussy. It's just that I'm used to this. I mean, like, you're not used to it, The civilians, they don't know what it is. You hear other people that talk about, firing an AR-15, and they're saying that they're going crazy. But to us, firing, high power rifles is almost like walk in a park, because
that's day in and day out.
Exactly. Fuck, I fucking stood, our basic training happens in the fucking swamplands in Georgia for the infantry, and we stood out in a fucking sweltering heat for fucking every fucking time we went out to go fucking zero our weapons. Shit, it was. I think it took us 12 hours. We were fucking standing in a fucking foxhole to zero our own fucking weapons for 12 fucking hours. By that time, you're fucking numb. We're numb to the fucking fact of explosions, firing, mortar.
Yeah.
You could fucking take a shit out in the desert, and a mortar round will fucking fall like 10 feet away from you. And I'm still fucking taking a shit, not giving a fuck. It's just like you said.
Exactly.
If it fucking falls on top of me, it falls on top of me. I'm not gonna fucking.
Oh, that's bad luck. That's bad luck though. If it falls on top of you while you're taking a shit, at least get me while I'm asleep.
You got you while your pants down with a fucking piece of turd hanging out your fucking asshole.
They'll be like, "Wow, look at that! He shit himself when the round went off." Of course, I fucking did. I was having a shit. But yeah, it's a similar situation to yourself. A very close friend of mine, Robbo. I was actually in the command center when he struck his IED and lost both of his legs. So I had to deal with that through the radio, which was horrible because he's a close friend of mine. I was like, the only thing I can do is get the fucking chopper out. That's about it. And the more you want to do, it's just like frustrate yourself, really. But when I had Robbo on the show, he was saying exactly the same thing. Like, he lost both his legs. It's no point bitching and moaning about it. He doesn't remember the incident. It happened, and then he woke up in the UK, and they were like, "It's gone. You got no legs." Along those lines, they're obviously a bit more, a bit nicer the way they said it. They didn't just go, "You've got no legs, by the way, mate." But yeah, it's just a thing, isn't it? Like, you just got to get on and deal with it the best way you can, and clearly you've inspired quite a few people by the way that you've motivated yourself I'm not sure how long it took you to get used to your injuries, but obviously now you're flying high with your jiu-jitsu and what have you, and just getting on with it. But it must have been difficult.
No.
It must have been difficult initially to come to terms with it.
Yeah, it really was. It was very, very difficult. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. At the time, we as in the military guys, we joined the military when we were at a very young age. I was 24. I was 24 going on 25 when my wounds had happened. And prior to that, I've already done a tour already. And, you're young, you're so motivated, you're running through the desert with rocket launchers on your back and you're doing all types of stuff. And then all of a sudden, you're stopped and you can't do anything no more, and you're fucking still 24, 25 years old. And, you couldn't wipe your own ass anymore for the time being. My mother had to wipe my ass for me. It was fucking horrendous. It was just fucking horrific, horrible for me. I never expected to be a fucking, able-bodied soldier doing all types of stuff and doing all the crazy stuff. Then all of a sudden, you lower the lows, you got your mother wiping your butt again.
Yeah, it's fucking so like. Well, we were similar. Like, you'd go up. So I did Iraq and then Afghanistan, and then thankfully for me, my final tour with Afghanistan again. But I was in the command center, so I was fine, inverted commas. But even my second tour, so I did Iraq, and we were closing it down, handing it over to you guys. And then when we went out to Kandahar, it was as though I was untouchable then. It was like, well, nothing's going to happen to me. I survived that one. And you don't expect it. And then someone like yourself, it may have been exactly the same. I'm like almost bulletproof. And then boom, life changed. And what must have been, you could probably clarify this. And what must have been the hardest thing is you didn't choose to end your military career. Somebody else who planted the IED did that for you.
Pretty much, yeah. Because during that time, my window had just opened up to re-enlist.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was considering re-enlisting but I was just. But you could also say I was also trying to bargain with my platoon sergeant, trying to see what I can get out of my re-enlistment too. It just, give me a better fucking duty station or some shit. That's what I was trying to do. But yeah, my window had just opened up during that time. And I was reconsidering, trying to see what I can get out of it. But yeah, it was cut short. But, even though at the same time, I was still able to, when I was in the military, when I was in the military hospital, they did mention to me that I can still re-enlist. But then I said to myself, I was like, what the fuck am I going to do then if I can re-enlist? I mean, I can't do the same shit that I truly loved or truly enjoyed. I'm a hands-on type of person. I'm not a behind the desk type of a person. I'm not intelligent in the way of fucking, hitting keyboards and fucking doing all types of stuff, I'm not that person. But
it's like the movie Starship Troopers, isn't it? Where he's on the desk and he's got one arm and he's got both his legs missing and another arm with a claw. And he's like, so what did you chose to do, son? He's like, I'm joining the infantry. Brilliant. The infantry made me the man I am today. It's like,
then he turns around.
It's like, cheers.
Yeah, he turns around. He got no fucking legs. Yeah, that was I brought this. That's the exact same shit that brought to my to my attention. I was like, oh shit. So yeah, my retirement is short. I mean, not really short, but my military career was short, and got into retirement, and I was lost for a time being, but then it took me quite some time to realize what the fuck I should have done with my life. It took my kids coming into the picture, but then also I was thinking about the guys that risked their lives to save my life. They risked their lives to save my life, so they saw my life as something of an importance. So fuck that shit. I'm gonna fucking try to live my life and make my life
they've gone out of the way to save yours.
Worth it.
You might as well leave. You might as well live it the best you can. So
exactly.
You mentioned that you suffer with PTSD as well. Did that stem from the actual incident itself, or is that just a collective of everything you've been through in previous tours, as well as the incident, and then leaving?
All of it, all of the above.
Yeah,
all of the above. You know, all the stuff that I've, you know, all the stuff that we've done, that we've seen, that we smell, you know, that we hear. You know, shit, man. I fucking last night I fucking jumped out of bed from just hearing someone shot one of those whistling rockets and shit. And I'm like, oh shit. You know, and my wife jumps up with me. She's like, what's going on? I'm like, you know, and stuff like that, you know. And then also, you know, yeah, leaving the military, and now I have, you know, nothing to fall back on. You know, my brothers in arms are out, you know, but they're out of the service too, but they're spread across the country of, you know, the states here. But luckily we had, like you say, you know, we got this awesome thing that's called Zoom, the technology. I can fucking shoot them a fucking FaceTime and or whatever, and it feels like and we're just shooting the shit like back in the old days.
Yeah, that's always a good thing, is when you get that reconnection with whether it's just a buddy that you served with, like literally one of your best mates or what have you. I did it a few weeks back. I gave my my best mate Nick a FaceTime. He's now a paramedic, and he's been suffering a little bit with things that he's seen over this pandemic and things that he saw when he was in Bastion in Helmand province. During my last tour, he was part of MERT, which is the similar thing to your PJs.
Yes.
So my regiment actually formed the force protection of that of the Chinook. So my regiment's on the back, and they help out the injured parties and what have you. So he served with that. He saw some gruesome shit, and little things sort of trigger him now. And so I gave him a little FaceTime, and just to cheer him up a little bit. And it was as though we hadn't stopped talking, if that makes sense. Like it's been weeks, months, maybe even a year since we last spoke, but it was as though we were still in the block, like chatting shit with each other. Fucking, it was brilliant. And those little things just perk you up. It's fucking brilliant. And yeah, and having things like Zoom and FaceTime and WhatsApp video and things like that, it just, even though a phone call will suffice, actually seeing someone, even though you can't be in the same room, it just cheers you up no end. And little things like this, like, we've never even spoke, but it feels like I'm your best mate already.
I totally agree with you. I mean, like, we could fucking sit around and fucking speak freely about the fucking situations or the stuff that we've been through.
And that's one of the reasons why I started getting guests on the show. I've had an array of different type of people on my show, but it tends to fall back to the same sort of through my journey. This is my journey to get it out, and sitting talking helps me hugely, because otherwise I put up my fake walls and my fucking barriers, and I'm like, no, I'm fine, leave me alone, and then I'll get in my little shell. But being open and honest is so much better, like, and just sitting, as we would say, chew the fat, having a chat is just it's just nice, and especially when it's a like-minded person as well.
No, I totally.
I did notice something on your I did notice something on your Instagram which I thought was semi-surprising. That you had a this sounds really bad, a regular bike, push bike, instead of a hand bike.
Yeah. Yeah, the hand cycle. So yeah, man. You're not the first person to mention that. Yeah, because the VA, the VA is the Veterans Affairs Hospital here.
Yeah.
That's what we call our hospital here. A lot of, my biggest sort of thing is I tend to love to fucking prove the naysayers wrong, you know, and show them that the stuff that I can do, what I can do. Yeah, the people here, a lot of people here don't see a lot of bilateral amputees riding an upright bike. They see a lot of you know, there are those that are, you know, the even single leg amputees, they ride a hand cycle. So my situation was, due to my injuries I had received, my one of my shoulders was busted out of place. So I can't do the damn thing, so, you know, so much. This is when I first started cycling, so my body wasn't used to the motion of the hand cycle. So I told the Veterans Affairs here, I told the hospital here that I want to go on an upright bike, and if they would fucking help me out with that. They said there's no such thing. They're not gonna fucking, you know, they're not gonna feed into my fucking what. They're not gonna eat what I'm feeding. You know, they're not gonna believe what, you know, what I can and cannot do. So I said, you know what, I'll just fucking go on this journey myself. So I went out bouts, and the people that sold me that bike, they were more helpful than the veteran than the hospital. They were all into it. They're like, oh shit, you really want to ride an upright bike? Okay. They introduced me to pedal clips, the clips where the people, they put on the shoes and
so like
they plop in.
A regular able-bodied, they put their feet in and click them in, don't they?
Yes. So that's what they did to me, but they adjusted mine where I would not be able to remove, or I'll be able to remove one leg but not the other leg. So I'm amputated differently. So I have one, my left leg has doesn't have a kneecap. So I don't have no control over my left leg. But my right leg, I have my kneecap. So I'm amputated a little bit from the ankle up, but I still have a little bit of a calf muscle. So that's how. So when I ride my bike, my right leg does all the pedaling. So I'm fucking. So if you just imagine, you know, my right leg has more. It's fucking humongous compared to my left leg. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm fucking. But
yeah. So, but it took some time, dude. It took me about a year and a half to fucking get used to work up that muscle where I'm able to do. So I ended up doing my very first marathon, but it wasn't a fucking big marathon. It was just a fucking 25-miler. I don't know what's that in kilos with you guys over there with your metric.
Well, I do miles. I do miles.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
I try and convert that to kilometers. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I can't do that. But yeah, I did my the very first thing I did. I promised myself I was going to do a fucking 25-miler, and I did a 25-miler. Dude, my fucking 25-miler took me about 3 fucking hours, but I did that shit. But I proved a lot of the fucking, you know, the naysayers wrong. I'm like, look, I fucking did this. Yeah, we did a lot of inclining, a lot of declining, and I was hooked on that. That was the very first activity that I did. That was the very first activity that required a lot of cardio exercise and a lot of, you know, mental strengthening. But then I included strength training after that. And then after that, you know, I found I just needed more. I wanted more. That was when I found jiu-jitsu. And then jiu-jitsu is added into all my training regimen, whether it be cycling and strength training and cardio and that's just me. I love to prove people wrong sometimes, you know. I want to prove people wrong.
It always feels good when you prove someone wrong. Like even myself. So when I was at school, I was never diagnosed with. I've got dyslexia, which is quite a bad learning difficulty, which I didn't realize I had. I didn't have it. I didn't know I had it until I was at college, and I had to take this test. And they went, "You've got dyslexia, by the way." I'm like, "Have I?"
Wow.
But my teachers were always going, "You're not gonna amount to anything. You're not gonna do this. You're not gonna do that." I'm just like, "All right." I was always just a sporty kid. Like let Tommo go out and play sports. He's fine. like academic, I was always sat there. I'd struggle a little bit, but I'd try and power through. But yeah, so all those teachers that have been saying this and that, like I had a pretty semi-decent military career, which I wish it was a bit longer, but you know, family issues cut that short. But now I've literally I'm now the site manager of the security team that I've got, and I'm like I'm the fucking boss now. This weird. Like me, they let this creature the fucking boss. It's madness. But yeah, it just proves to show that hard work, dedication will get you where you need to go, which is what I say to my kids all the time. Like my eldest, she really struggles with maths, and she's like, "Daddy, I hate maths." It's like, okay, just do your best. It's like, she's like, I would say to her, my teachers would always tell me that you won't always have a calculator wherever you go. It's like, well, look at me now. I've got my fucking iPhone with a calculator on it. It's like, you've got your phone, will do all your fucking maths for you. Don't worry about it. Stick to the bits that you enjoy doing, and then we'll see where you go. But yeah, I digress. So, like, coming back to like your sort of injuries and how motivated you are to prove people wrong. I'm not sure, you may not have heard of it over there. It is, you guys do have it because you hosted it, but we obviously started the Invictus Games. I don't know if you heard of that.
Oh yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
It comes from, like, was it the Warrior Games? Or was it the original aim? I believe.
I believe so. Yes.
Something along those lines. So a couple of my I say close friends. One of my close friends, Robert, who I mentioned, he was part of the wheelchair rugby team for Great Britain. He's now actually, he's supposed to be going to Tokyo. He was obviously supposed to be this year, but next year he's actually made the Paralympic team, which is awesome. Good on Robbo. But another guest that I've had on the show, which is Mark Ormrod, who's literally just got an award from the Queen. So he's now Mark Ormrod, MBE, which means nothing to you. Member of the British Empire.
Shit.
But yeah, the reason why I bring Mark up is because I'm going to try and get you guys into comms, because he's massive on jiu-jitsu. He's the first British triple amputee from Afghanistan. So he's got one arm. He's now a blue belt, I believe. I think he's just been upgraded to blue belt. Part of the reorg jiu-jitsu team, which is part of the Marines.
I've heard about those guys. Yeah, I love that. I love that outfit.
He's a brilliant guy. I've had him on the show. Fantastic guest. I think I sent him the link. Sent you the link to the episode.
Yes.
He's a top bloke. But yeah, he's another one that likes to prove people wrong as well. I think they said that he wasn't going to walk and things like that, and he's cutting about on his legs quite happily. He competed in 4 different sports, I think, in that Invictus Games. Like, one of them was swimming, and I was like, that's crazy. Like, swimming with one arm. He must have been hanging out, just like. It's like I'm like anybody from yourself, Mark, Robbo, anybody that I know that have had like life-changing injuries. I'm like, yeah, it's always that thing. Like, I've got like the issues I've got in my head that nobody can see. But I'm always like, what am I moaning about when there's guys like this that are strapping on their legs each day and going out and smashing it, and then I'm like, fucking hell, I don't really feel like doing much today. It's that, and I like not knowing that what I know now in terms of like depression awareness and PTSD and things like that, and how it affects everybody differently. Previous to that, I was always like, why am I feeling like this? And there's guys that are struggling worse than me. And now it's like, well, actually, no, everybody's different. So, like, what may affect you probably won't affect me, and vice versa. And it's, but yeah, did you ever think about doing like the Invictus Games or anything like that, or were you quite happy just? Or did you have to get invited? I
don't even fucking know. I mean, like, I really do. I really do. I want to go out there. I want to get sponsored. I want to go out there and train, because it's just do all that stuff, but I just don't know how about to do and getting into it. You know, I don't know I don't have the connections, or I don't. Most of the times, I just sit there and I'm like, yeah, maybe I want to do it. I'm just waiting for. I'm just waiting for how to get into it and where and how about. But the other thing is, I'm like, I don't want to be away from my family, like, you know, for a long
also,
period of time.
You've got to pick the right country that they're going to. You don't want to go to a crappy like they've done America. They've done America. I think it was Florida they did, didn't they? So it was America, Canada, the UK, and then Australia, and then the next one is somewhere like Denmark. It's like, what you gonna go there for?
I'm waiting for when they fucking do the Paralympics for the for jiu-jitsu. I want to do jiu-jitsu for the Paralympics.
I have heard that they're talking about bringing it in, aren't they? Into the
I really want to get into that one.
I honestly don't know why it's not. Well, they have BMX,
it's almost like judo.
BMX riders in the Olympics. Come on.
Oh man.
They have all those different martial arts. They've got like, right, well, saying that, they don't have like karate, do they, in there? They have taekwondo, judo, wrestling.
And boxing.
Just stick it in there. Watch people choke people out.
It's almost like judo. Judo has the same submissions that jiu-jitsu has. They got arm bars and lapel chokes too. I mean, I don't understand why they make jiu-jitsu as
very rarely see them doing it, which is mad.
No, you don't.
In the main competitions, like you see them do their massive throws, and you're like, that's pretty cool. But you never see them like just go, well, I'm gonna put this motherfucker in an arm bar right now.
I don't know. They just want to get it. They want to get straight and done. They want that straight and boom. That's what they want to do. They want to get it done fast. Yeah, but it's just like you said. Yeah,
the arm bar in.
Yeah, they don't want to do that. This jiu-jitsu is more of a chess game, like you said. So yeah, I guess it's time consuming. I guess
I do see it. It should like quite easily just slot into the Olympics, especially. Well, you would have thought they would have tried it for this next one, obviously. In Tokyo, where obviously Japanese jiu-jitsu is Brazilian jiu-jitsu formed, like from them coming over. It's like just put it in there, just slop it in there.
I mean, they got badminton in it. They're playing badminton.
Doesn't even count. How annoying is badminton though? They smash that fucking. Obviously, it's clearly a British game where they name something as shuttle, but they smash that. They smash that cock so hard, and it doesn't go anywhere. It's like, bam! It's fucking crazy. Yeah, talking about like Paralympic sports and things. There's some that I look at and I think, how does that work? Like, especially like, we'll take tennis for example, because obviously tennis is mainly played on grass, and it's like, how do they do it in the wheelchair tennis on grass? Must be hard work. How do I get it moving? I suppose it is. But then in my head, I'm thinking like grass is in like a football pitch, like thick grass, not like how they cut it on the tennis court. but yeah, we'll get rid of wheelchair tennis and put in jiu-jitsu for the Paralympics. There you go. Solved it. That should be part of the Olympic Committee.
That'd be brilliant. That'd be awesome. I would love that, man. I'm just looking forward to it. But by the time that shit happens, I'm fucking like, I'll be like 50 years old and shit by now. I'm already up there, reaching up there in age brackets.
Oh, you can go in the veteran league.
I'm already like right now. I'm competing against able-bodied jiu-jitsu practitioners, but I'm going up against the last person that I went up against. They were in their 20s, and I'm like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh shit, I'm fighting up against a 20-something-year-old wrestler that just graduated from college, and I'm over here.
Do you find that they underestimate you?
Yeah. So sometimes I think
you're old and
yeah,
because you're old and
because they take no legs.
I'm gonna beat this guy because he's got no legs and he's well old.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you tie them up like a pretzel, and they're like, "What the fuck just happened?"
So that never happens in competition. That only happens at other academies. But in competitions, they sort of think that I'm an easy win. But you know, I do tend to lose a lot of my competition matches. But it's not due to submissions or anything of that nature. It's due to time limits. They try everything to try to submit me. They try everything to try and submit me. They try to hold me down, which they can't do. They try to armbar me, which they sometimes have a difficulty doing because of my, one of the things that one of my professors had mentioned to me in training here. They said, take your disadvantage and make it your advantage, and I take that to heart. And one of the things that that I learned is they really can't hold me down. So I can really just move around and around them. But the thing is that I can't submit them.
Like how strong your upper body and core will be when you've got no legs. Like that's all you.
That's exactly that's
because that's all you can use. So of course it's going to be fucking strong.
Exactly.
Like gorilla strength.
I mean, the first year when I came back to my home in Philadelphia, I was still new to wearing my legs. But walking up and down the stairs, I was using my arms. I was pushing my arms up the stairs and down the stairs, and it's that's what mainly it is. It's just all upper body strength for myself and core. Yeah, because you need a good core to be able to use prosthetic limbs and stand up and walk around. So,
that's one of the things that. But going back to Mark, he was saying how when you're stood on your legs, how much you are actually working is as though you're like sprinting constantly because you've got to try and stay upright on these legs that aren't yours. Like, that's got to be. That must have been a real strange feeling when you first like put them on.
It was really, really awkward. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? What is going on here? I mean, I'm supposed to be, like I said, we were young, strappy dudes in the military. We're strong and bound and everything. And you put on these things and you're fucking falling all over the place. It's almost like you're standing on water. But yeah, and lo and behold, the main thing that really helped us out was it's the stupidest things is working out your abs and working out your butt. Because your ass is what's really it's amazing that I should have been doing butt exercise when I was in the fucking military, because the butt is really what keeps you postured up, nice and straight and sturdy. Because you're standing with your fucking ass clenched at all times. And when I'm standing, my fucking ass is always clenched together. So
just crushing cans with your ass.
Exactly. I'm fucking crushing walnuts and shit in there, man. It's unfucking believable. But it's really awkward. Really awkward, but you get used to it.
I remember training when I was around 18. I was a personal trainer in my dad's gym, and there was one of our clients. He had his knees replaced, so he had like fake knees basically. And I remember him limping into the gym, and I was looking at. I was like, well, "Why are you limping?" He's like, "Well, my knees hurt." Like, well, they don't, because they're plastic. You need to get out of your head now that that's not your knee anymore. That's not hurting. The upper part of your thighs might be hurting because you're not used to the prosthetic knee, but your knee itself, that's not hurting, mate. Let's get you back walking how you used to walk, and then you won't be having these problems with your hip. You won't be having these problems with your back because that's not real anymore. Your knees, forget your knees. You need to teach you how to walk again. And
that's
it was a tricky one because he was about 55, 60 years old, so he just couldn't get it in his head that like he can walk normally now, like, but he was still limping as though he was in pain. But it was one of those, when you're really in pain and you're walking and you limp and you wince. It was none of that. He was just like quite happily, but he was just walking with his limp. And he's like, you don't need to limp, mate. chill out. Let's get back to basics.
That's right.
He was a tricky client. He was a tricky client to have. But some people just don't want to learn or adjust.
Yeah, I mean, in my situation, to me, it's just like I mentioned earlier. I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing it for the guys that risk their lives and they save my ass. But also at the same time, I got 3 kids that I want to fucking be a good role model, and I just want to prove them like, look, we're not gonna fucking fucking tiptoe around situations and areas and stuff like that. We're gonna fucking like you say, we're gonna go head on with whatever it is, and try to get it right. Yeah.
And I find with the kids situation as well. So my missus once sort of had a little bit of a Barney with me over, because I would talk quite openly to both my kids. They're only 9 and 6, about mental health issues and what can cause them and what can trigger them and things like that. She was like, they're a bit young to be knowing about your issues. And I went, why are they? She basically had no answer to it. But why are they? The more they know, the more they can help or understand if they start feeling bad and low and bad and what have you, or they could help someone at school that is feeling sad or a bit depressed. Even at 9, some kids are getting quite down through trolling and things like that on their phones and watching the wrong things and what have you. And I've talked about it loads of times now that my eldest was the one that found me at my weakest, when I was curled up in a ball, crying my eyes out in the kitchen because I didn't know what the fuck was going on inside my head. I was like, why have I got all these emotions? Had a bit of a marital problem with my wife. Like we were drifting apart slightly. All this was down to me, and me putting my walls up and my barriers and pushing her away, saying, no, I'm not telling you what's wrong with me, because I didn't know what was wrong with me.
Yeah,
that was the main problem. And the one that found me was my eldest. And like I said in my little mini documentary that I've got, I put it in my little memoir book and things like that. She was the one that found me and told me that everybody loves me. We're all here for you. And that was coming, I think should have been 7 at the time. And like a 7-year-old seeing it and understanding it and realizing that all she needed to do was say something like that and give me a hug. Kids are brilliant, because they do see things,
yeah.
they pick it up, and they understand that perhaps daddy did just need a hug.
Yep.
And someone to just, and we've always had a little bit of a bond with, like I've said before, we lost 7 months when I went away on tour. I know our tours are slightly different to yours, our deployments.
Mm-hmm.
So we would do, it's between 4 and 7 months usually. So she was 1 year old when I left, and she was still a baby, and I came back and she was this toddler. And then we never really had that bond. But like recently, this bond has seemed to have she's now back to being daddy's girl, basically, which is lovely. Yeah. I love it. It's fucking amazing.
Oh no, it's great.
And it's the fact that she dealt with it so well, and still continues to do so. She loves the podcast as well. She wants to come on, and I'm like, well, you can't, because you're 9, and and because daddy has a mouth like a sewer rat, and I swear a lot. But yeah, so how old are your kids, may I ask? Oh, that's a question.
Shit, man. My oldest is 11, 8, and 6.
Good ages. Good spread.
Yeah, good separation apart, but it's they're a handful too, man. They're just like, they have their own attitudes, their own.
Crazy. Isn't
it? They're just insane. Especially I got 2. The 2 oldest are girls, so I have to. They're angels to me. I mean,
Yeah.
as much as they drive me up the walls,
Yeah.
I just can't.
Breed, though.
Yeah, they know how to.
Breed.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they know how to push those buttons. You know, they get you really angry. Then all of a sudden they come and give you a hug, just like you said. And
Yeah, and they
give
look
you a hug
at you in a certain way, and you're like, I can't stay mad at you.
I can't. No, I can't.
My youngest, she's got the biggest eyes you'd ever. They're like she's like an owl, and and I call her Puss in Boots when when she looks at you and she wants something. These eyes just go fucking massive, and then she looks at you as if to say, "Can I have a chocolate?" or something like that, and you're like, "Don't look at her." So we say to the grandparents, I say to the missus, just don't look at her, don't look at her. But yeah, they girls have that way. Like, if I had a boy, then obviously that would be my boy. You know what I mean? But I don't. I have two daughters, two angels that I can't stay mad at for long. They fucking they both have my personality, which is annoying because it's like arguing with two miniature versions of myself. So I'm not going to go anywhere. It's like so frustrating. But it's like earlier, like my youngest, she was getting ready, but she still had her pajamas on. But then she put her clothes on over the top, thinking she was funny. And I was trying to get them ready so we could get out because it's my missus' birthday tomorrow. So I was like, we need to go out. We need to get the birthday cards. We need to get this, and this, and this, and this. And then she's just pissing about with her fucking pajamas. And I was like, will you just get on with it? Just get on with it. And she was looking at me as if to say, make me. So like, just get ready. And then she'd be pulling this face. And I was like, why are you pulling that face? Just fucking hell. I'm trying to like get all the beds all made so it's all nice. Like, and then we sit in the car and then she's like, I love you, Dad. He's like, yeah.
Okay. Okay, it's okay.
That's all right.
Yeah. What do you want today?
Yeah. Dad, can we get some chocolate on the way home when we stop off and get some petrol? Yeah, no problem. We'll do that. Wrap me around.
That's the same thing. Same thing here, man. They want their French fries and hamburgers.
Yeah, they do, mate.
As soon as they piss you off.
Well, what other plans have you got for the rest of the day? Seeing as it's bright and early for you.
Oh shit! I gotta go. So I've just got to. I got to go to the hardware, pick up some salt because I'm getting things ready for the fucking winter here. You know, it's getting fucking freezing. I have a feeling that we're gonna have a bad one, and just gotta go get some salt because the fucking people out here, they as soon as something happens. I'm guessing it's probably the same thing over there. You know, as soon as one snowflake hits the ground, everybody goes out and buys fucking shitloads of fucking salt, food, and milk and bread and all types of bullshit.
We are a strange nation, considering how cold and horrible the UK is, like grey all the time. Like you would think, like every year we do it, you would think we'd be ready for some sort of snow. But every time it's as though it's a shock. Fuck, we've got snow. Like the fucking airports completely stop, and then you think, well, there's fucking airports in Russia that is like constantly in snow, and they take off fine. Why can't we take off? But yeah, like I remember I was talking. Well, no, I wasn't talking. I heard my brother on his podcast that he did the other day, and for the first time in like I don't know when, the UK we've actually had seasons. I don't know if it's to do with the pandemic and everybody being locked away and not many people in cars, but we've actually had a spring that looked like spring, a fantastic summer, autumn that was like autumn should be, and now winter is like fucking hell, it's cold outside. This is and then we even had snow. Literally had snow the other day, not where I am, but we had snow in the UK, and it was like everyone, like you said, was panicking because we had fucking snow. It wasn't even that much snow, it was like a half an inch or something, and everyone's panicking. But yeah, it's as though the seasons have actually gone, oh, there's not much pollution in the air, let's actually give them what they want. We might even actually get a fucking white Christmas for the first time ever.
I know. It's a fucking exactly. the fucking seasons here was so fucking great and beautiful, and all of a sudden, and nobody's out there fucking enjoying it because of the fucking bullshit pandemic, and it's disgusting. But yeah, right now the winter's gonna come, and that's exactly what I meant. Because the best thing that I've learned, the one thing that I've taken from my military career is always prepare for the worst.
Oh
and
yeah.
I tend to fucking I went to the fucking hardware store last week and I saw they got fucking, like, I think the whole entire aisles, like there's an aisle of nothing but fucking salt, snow shovels, and snow blowers. It's like, okay, they got fucking like 1,000 bags of fucking salt right now. I think I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna pick this shit up, because as soon as the fucking, like I said, as soon as that snowflake hits the ground, everybody's out there fucking going but bonkers to fucking just to fucking save themselves. And I'm
over here, the people are just, we have a lot of idiots that I didn't realize existed. And especially when the fucking pandemic first hit and obviously everyone went crazy for toilet roll. It's like, this fucking virus doesn't make you shit yourself. Why are you buying all the toilet roll? You get a bad headache and flu-like symptoms. Why are you buying all the toilet roll? Also, like, they didn't buy anything like food-wise. Toilet roll and more toilet roll and maybe a little bit of bleach. But it's like, what, you go down the food aisle and you're like, oh, there's loads of tin food left. Like, if I'm stuck inside and I'm not allowed anywhere, I'm going to get some tin food that's not going to go off. It's like, I'm going to stock up on that and pasta and shit.
Yes.
And then you just see people like loading up their trolleys with fucking toilet roll.
I told my wife, I said, babe, we still got fucking the clothes that my kids don't even wear anymore that they've grown out of. I said, if we ever fucking run out of toilet paper, let's go grab that shit and we just cut it up and fucking wipe our ass or whatever with it. Because I mean, that's exactly what I did back when we were in the fucking desert. Because in the fucking desert, we didn't have no fucking no toilet paper most of the time. I mean, we didn't have shit. We were fucking using our gun rags and shit to fucking our weapon rags, our cleaning, our weapon cleaning rags, and we're wiping our asses with that shit. You know, and we're because
has anyone got any toilet roll? No, but I've got some fucking rifle fucking cleaning tissue or whatever you want to call it. I can't remember.
You know, it doesn't make sense. It's just, you know, we just fucking gotta hunker down and fucking prepare ourselves for the worst. I mean, that's one thing that's the greatest thing that I've taken from the military is stay fucking calm, man. And fucking people are just fucking losing their minds over fucking ludicrous shit, you know. It's just lunacy's out there. They're fucking beating people up for fucking toilet paper, just like you mentioned. I'm like, are you serious?
But then it makes you realize why they put labels on bleach and things that say do not drink, because those people would drink the bleach. I personally think we should remove the label and just let nature take its course and watch people.
I told my wife the same thing. I said, baby, I can't believe people are out here really drinking this shit. It's common sense. Common sense. You get people, these things are fucking made to fucking degrease, trying, you know, to degrease things, and they're fucking putting it themselves into their bodies. And this is, it's common sense, guys. We were born with, where's our sense at, you know? Do you really need people to say don't fucking drink it?
Like, you get like a fight, like I've got a little heater in here and it says might get hot. Well, no fucking shit. don't put your hand on me or something like that. It's like, well, obviously not. But
it doesn't make
it just
I don't know.
Some of the stupid things that are on labels that clearly means that somebody has done that at some point.
Because and then all of a sudden, if you don't put it on there, the fucking people get sick or get hurt from it, they're gonna fucking have a lawsuit up against the people that fucking. It's just it's a nightmare, So
you get many nightmares. You've got many nightmares over there in America when you with obviously you've just gone through your election as well. That must have been fun.
Brother, there are days where I was pulling guard in my fucking own home. You know, I was pulling guard because I was afraid. I didn't know what was going on. I don't know what the hell was going on. People were just fucking getting mad and frustrated about the situation, and people were hating each other, and I over for, you know,
it's crazy how much people actually start hating other people just because of a political or religious view. It's like, yeah, I can disagree with you because you support Trump or fucking Biden or whoever the fuck, but I don't hate you.
Exactly, right. And that's what this country is supposed to be built. And that's what this country is built on. It's built on freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and, you know, our politics. You know, but yeah,
and your right to bear arms.
People out.
Yeah. You got to.
Yeah, exactly. I try to keep that low. Yeah, you know, because I try not to bring that up, because a lot of people they get really mad, and they go, oh, you really want to carry weapons? And I'm like, that's what this country is built on, right? Our Second Amendment rights is our right to bear arms.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you just, like, you know, if you want to carry a weapon or a rifle, whatever, or purchase it yourself, so be it. That's what this country is based on. Don't fucking get mad at other people just because you don't want to and they want to.
It's that thing, isn't it? It's the offense thing and people's political views. Like, it's like, why are you getting mad at that? That's because that's what you're passionate about. That's why you're mad at it. But just chill the fuck out.
Exactly.
The thing about offense and things, it's like, it's not aimed at you. It's like I remember once I made a joke a long time ago, and it was about it was during the Me Too movement, which was a bit of a sensitive subject, and it was Caitlyn Jenner came out with an harassment cause because she was touched up by Bruce Jenner for years and years and years. So it was a play on a joke that obviously went through the change, became Caitlyn, and then now there's no longer Bruce, etc., etc. I'm aware of that. By the way, people, don't cancel me. But I made a joke about that, and then someone just popped up and was like, "Well, that's a very ill-timed joke," and it was like, "Well, it was a joke. It's just a joke." It's like, you don't need to take offense to a joke. It wasn't aimed at you. It wasn't aimed at anyone in particular. It's just a joke, making light of a bad situation, which is what most jokes are. Oh my word, did that cause an uproar? And it was between, like, myself and my family, like, not close family, but a cousin that I don't really speak to. We have very, very different views. We'll just leave it at that. And I literally turned my phone off because my phone was just kept on beeping. Like, it was like, oh, there's another notification, there's another one. And it was basically all the lads that I served with were like coming to my aid and taking it out on my cousin. And I was like, oh my God, this is craziness. I'm just going to ignore that. But it's just a thing with offense and jokes and things. Someone's going to get offended by something. But it's fucking crazy world we live in, mate. Crazy.
It is. I mean, I it's just that we just all need to just calm down and just love each other. I totally want that to happen again, because fuck. I mean, we're fucking numb to it because we're military guys. You can only imagine civilians can only imagine all the bullshit that our boys that we serve as fucking put us through and fucking said to us, and we return that to them too as well, to our guys, and they take it in stride and have fun. But then you come out here and they're just losing their mind. They just want to hurt you for saying something that's not meant to be an offensive, in an offensive way.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same with all these other these new movements and what have you. It's like fucking checking your white privilege card and things like that. It's like, well, hang on a minute. I've served with an array of multinational, multi-raced people, and now you're saying that I'm racist and things like that. It's like, hang on a minute, I'll stop you there. It's just madness. It's
I know.
That's another rabbit hole that we probably won't go down. But it's like it's just I just don't understand why. It's just like you said. Why can't people just love everybody? Like, to quote Will Ferrell from the movie Semi Pro, everybody love everybody. It's like,
yeah.
Just be nice to people. It's like, fuck me.
I mean, it's sort of like, you know, a lot of my friends and family, you know, to get my friends and family, they would talk to me. They would say, Tan, are you ever mad at those that done that stuff to you, or everything that had happened to you? Are you ever angry or mad? And are you mad at them for the people there and stuff like that? I would say, and I would tell them all the time, no, what the fuck am I gonna be mad at the people for? They didn't do it to me. You know, it was the person that did it to me, but those people that are there all the time, they probably didn't know that whatever, you know, there are good people and there are bad people.
Yep.
And it's just mainly the bad people. And I'm not gonna be mad at one certain race or certain, you know, people. Because the thing is that I myself am a minority too, as well. You know, I could only imagine how many people despise my ethnicity here. You know, they hate my. You know, because I've been through it myself. And the other thing is that we touched on it earlier. I signed up for it.
Yeah, and going to that sort of point as well. So my missus has said something similar as well, and a few other people. It's like, are you mad at like Iraqis, Afghanistanis, like Taliban and things like that? And I was like, well, not really. Like, when you look at it from a different perspective, like, we went over there, that's their country at the end of the day. And I went, and most of our rocket attacks and things like that weren't from the Taliban. They were from locals that we've plowed through their fucking farmer's field and destroyed it. And they're pissed off, so they retaliated. And when you think about it, if someone did that in like the UK, we would get pissed off and fucking retaliate in some sort of way. And that sort of thing has gone on and on and on from years and years. So we could even go back to 1776, 1775, even. UK being in America, and you guys were like, hang on a minute, we sort of want our independence now. And we're like, whoa, we'll stop you there. We found that country. And it's like, well, hang on a minute. No, you stole that country. Right, we're going to have a fight. And then we lost, unfortunately. But that's another thing. So we were fighting in your country. And you guys won. And you guys did exactly what the Taliban and Al Qaeda were doing. We were fighting in their country. They didn't want it. They're fighting back. What do you expect? That's what war is.
Exactly. And that's why, you know, I try to tell people, you know, what's done is done. How about we just try to reconciliate and just love, you know, just throw things down and just fucking love each other, man. Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I, we've seen the worst of the worst already, man. I mean, do I want to fucking relive that shit? Fuck no, I don't want to fucking relive that shit. You know, let's just fucking.
Yeah, top point there as well. Like, when you're young, dumb, and you go out to these countries, you want to get in all the fucking fights. You want to fight.
Oh yeah,
because that's what you train for. Like, when I joined out, 20 years old, 21. I was out in Iraq. I was 21. Yeah, 21. 21 years old. I'm still a fucking boy. And they've given this boy a fucking rifle and all the fucking bomb that I needed to go and pick a fight if I needed to. Yes, we were more on a hearts and minds mission at that point, but we were still ready. We're still driving around in armored vehicles with fucking 50 cals on it, ready to go. I was ready to go. By the time I left, I was like, why are we here? Why are we fighting now? We've been in Iraq and fucking Afghanistan since 2001, 2003, and we're still here. It's 10 years later. It's like, can we go home now? It's like all the vets going like, not so much you, no offense, but some of the vets like, my knees and back hurt. I don't want to carry this weight anymore. Can we go home now?
I'm done. I'm done with this heat. I'm hot. I'm tired. I'm hungry.
Yeah. Why do we have to keep fighting wars in fucking deserts? It's disgusting. Smells.
I just don't understand it. Yeah, but it's just that's what we just signed up for, and you know we still have to live by it, and but with everything said and done, man, nothing's gonna take away the memories that I've made with my brothers out there.
No, definitely not. It's
you
like
know, I mean,
it's like I've said before. I've had a few tiffs with a relative, and she's like, how can you justify talking to me like that and taking the sides of these other people over me? I'm family. And I remember saying it. I was like, well, they've actually been more family than you've ever been. Like I would go,
wow.
I would go like 5, 6, 7 years without seeing this cousin, inverted commas, and even longer, maybe 10 years plus. I was like, I was day in and day out with these guys in some horrible shit situations, even through basic training. Fucking sat on stag for 12 hours a day, watching a tree, fucking in the pissing rain, in the snow, in the fucking cold, not knowing what's fucking coming next, even on training, even out in the desert, looking up in fucking Iraq sky, talking to my best mate for hours about relationships, about things at home, things abroad, everything, politics, religion, fucking list goes on and on and on. I know this guy's fucking farts. I know what his fucking sweat smells like. It's disgusting. But I've been through all these situations with these friends, and that's why they become brothers and sisters in a brotherhood, in a family. That's
Yep.
may not be blood, but to me, they are more family than than quite a few members of my own actual family. It's
Yes.
and that's what civilians don't seem to understand. In a lot of ways, it's like
yes,
it's like, especially with like yourself, you went through a traumatic fucking incident, and it was your brothers that went in there and fucking saved your life, got you out of there. And I'm sure that you would be the first to say that those guys are the fucking heroes, the ones that
hands down, because I mean, at the end I was fucking, I was fucking really pissed off how even though I was wounded, I mean, I was in a hospital bed, I was wounded, but then I said to myself, I said, I was a little pissed off how I was back in the States in a hospital room and feeling all safe while my brothers are still in a fucking hot shit zone. Yeah. And I wish they were, they were all safe and able to come back. But, yeah, they were fucking truly the heroes, man.
And I can guarantee you that they wouldn't say that they were the hero, though.
Well, believe it or not, they are. Shit.
Yeah, which shows how humble most soldiers are, because they'll be if they saved your life or not, they'll be the ones saying, "I was just doing my job. I'm not a hero." It's like, no, you fucking are. You saved my fucking life. You've done more than you by you saving my life. I had these kids and my wife and what have you. And I can guarantee that those guys that say that they're not the heroes, they will then say that the ones that didn't come home are the heroes, which is also true.
That is very, very true.
It's super. I think a lot of civilians these days, in regards to the Iraq and Afghanistan war, they don't realise what everybody went through. They see it on the telly, sort of, but they don't know. They don't know what it's like. which is why just like I said, like during the what we call Remembrance Day, so the 11th, I think that's your Veterans Day, is it?
Yeah, Veterans Day. Yep.
I always get confused with your guys, but it's like I put a post out and I just put, just be nice to, if you see a veteran and he's wearing, because when we go out and do our sort of remembrance parades, like I'll put my blazer on, I've got my squadron patch, I wear my medals, and I was like, if you see a veteran wearing that, just say thank you. Just be nice. Like you guys over there, you guys, the civvies are very, very welcoming and friendly and happy about your military. A lot of our fucking civvies are like, well, look at these fucking cunts with their fucking.
Are you fucking shitting me?
Yeah, no, seriously, it's only just coming into recently that we're starting to get more appreciated as veterans, because usually it's like you look at a veteran or see a veteran and you think it's the World War II guys, the old boys.
Yeah.
And it's like, what about the fucking young lads that have been in these fucking sickening wars, come back, and you're just shunning them basically? And it's like, no. But to be fair, just recently we're starting. I've said it on a couple of podcasts now. It's now starting to become cool to be a veteran. Like you've got all these veteran companies. It's getting to be quite a decent thing, and people are starting to appreciate us more. Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like seeing a veteran wearing their fucking squadron patch, their fucking medals. Some of them will wear their berets or their hats or whatever, and it's like, just say thank you. Like if you can, and if we were out of this pandemic, buy them a fucking beer. Like you don't know what they've sacrificed so that you guys can prance around moaning about fucking Brexit or fucking Trump. You know what I mean? But
I totally agree with you.
It's all good. It's all good. Well, mate, I don't even know how long we've been fucking going. I've lost track of time. Was it about an hour and a half?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm enjoying the time just shooting the shit.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. No, I'm not going to call it quits. I was just checking what the fucking time was. I can just see that it's starting to get dark outside, where it's probably just fucking getting light out. But yeah, it's fucking nice, mate. It's nice. So have you got any sort of other anything else sort of planned within the bubble, as it were? How's it working over there with the pandemic over in the States? Because over here it's fucking weird. Like they've now split the nation within like tier system. So we've got tier 3, which is pretty much still locked down. Tier 2, which is pretty much still locked down with a little bit extra, like you can go to the pub. And then you've got tier 1 where you're pretty much golden to do whatever you like. Apart from at Christmas, we have 5 days over Christmas because I think COVID takes Christmas off. It just stops for 5 days. And you can pretty much do what you want. But then after the 5 days, it's back to being in your tier system. So COVID can go off and see its other over. It can go back to China or whatever and see its family. but then it goes back to, it's like, just like I'm sick of it now. I'm like, just let people out and fucking mix and then watch the fucking thing just die out. Like that's me. That's me, my chimp mind, just go in, just let people out, just go back to normal, and watch it just disappear. But it won't happen, guaranteed.
Nope.
But yeah, what's it like over there?
So yeah, man, over here it's just fucking. we don't have any tiers or anything like that, but we have everything is all governed by the states, the governor states, and then everything is all broken down by their the townships and the counties that the people live here. So like I'm on the outskirts of Philadelphia. So but in Philadelphia, everything is on lockdown. Like there's no gyms. There is some school, but you got the other small businesses. If they can't have indoor dining and all this other shit. But they can do outdoor dining, which is fucking insane because it's fucking cold as shit out there right now. So they want to do outdoor dining. Yeah, it's
Hey guys, it's
ridiculous.
winter.
I know small businesses are fucking losing it right now. They don't have their and the gyms and
It's a fucking conspiracy theory behind it. They're trying to kill all the small businesses.
I have no clue. I have no idea, but it's just hurting. It's hurting everybody. But me being me, we're out here living on the outskirts, which is a different county. Everything is just almost the same. Only thing that's requirements here is just we just have to wear a mask.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's not the same. It's
similar to over here. Obviously, we call it a tier system. So my county, Kent, where we had like 2 little fucking areas of it that were quite bad. Apparently, there's probably about 3 people with COVID or something, and they've gone all fucking blown out of proportion. But yeah, so we went from tier 1 before lockdown. They did a lockdown, come out of lockdown. We're now tier 3, so we're pretty much still lockdown. But you go over the bridge into the next county over, which is Essex. They're tier 2. They can do pretty much anything. Like it's like, and London, which I thought was mad. So the capital, where is most densely populated, is a tier 2. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's fucking. Oh, I'm just bored of it now. It was supposed to be over by now.
Well, so far, I mean, like you guys are getting the
you got the vaccine.
Vaccines,
which
yeah, it's coming out there
which
Tuesday,
again,
right?
Which again is going to get my tinfoil hat. I'm going to take my tinfoil hat off. It's mad how these vaccines are supposed to take 10 years in the making. Like, and they did it in 10 months. It's like, what? How did you do that then? It's as though you already had it. But then like conspiracy wise, not that I'm really into conspiracies, but you've obviously got this vaccine that's just appeared from nowhere, in 10 months, which applaud that. But then you've got like they're still doing cancer research, which has been going on for I couldn't even tell you, since forever, since day dot.
Since forever,
and they haven't killed that yet. It's fucking madness.
It's insane. I don't understand.
I'll tell you what else
just like it.
This. So a buddy of mine who is fucking obsessed with everything conspiracy. You would think he was Eddie Bravo, but he's not. he put a post up the other day. He went, "Why would I take a vaccine that is 95% chance of being successful when I have a 99.6% chance of surviving COVID anyway?" He's like, "Well, you got a point there."
He's got a point. He's got a point.
It's like fair play. I get it. I get it. But it's just crazy, mate. It really is. Like,
yeah.
Like here's one for you. So obviously, going back to this tier system. So obviously, you can't in this tier 3 lockdown style. You pretty much can't do anything. So if you can work from home, you work from home. That sort of thing. You can't go out to restaurants. You can get a takeaway, but you can't go out to restaurants or go to the pub and drink. But my wife, who is a hairdresser, can go to work to cut someone's hair in close proximity. Yes, she wears a mask. She wears a mask and what have you, but it's like, hang on a minute. So a hairdresser and a beautician can do fucking nails and fucking facials and shit, but I can't go to the pub and have a beer. And for ages, they closed the gyms. And it's like, so you're closing the gym, which helps you get fit and healthy, which will boost your immune system, but you're going to close that. But yet you can keep McDonald's open to get your Big Mac. Like,
everything's a contradiction.
Yeah, I was going through a bit of a thing with the fitness thing. I was saying a few weeks ago that yes, the gyms are closing, but there are other avenues you can take. You can go out for a fucking run. You can do a boot camp style session out in the mud and just get fucking filthy and what have you.
Yep.
But I can see why people need the gym. Again, it's that social interaction. in a way.
Yes.
And gyms have that community, especially bodybuilders and fucking CrossFit athletes and jiu-jitsu practitioners. There's only so much jiu-jitsu you can do with a fucking one of those jiu-jitsu doll things without you. And you feel like, hang on a minute, I could do with a partner to choke me out instead of fucking Bob the doll. But yeah, it's as though they want to lock us up, and it's tough. It is tough.
It's pretty good, but you know, so luckily I got some. I live in a town where all that stuff is not really closed. You know, we still like the academy I train at. They keep it open, and the gyms. As a matter of fact, the gyms around here are still open.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But literally,
now we've come out of lockdown. The gyms are open, but we're in this like tier 3, which is pretty much lockdown.
It doesn't make sense.
Strange.
And the thing is that what's crazy is that even though everything is on lockdown, everything is still rising up. The cases are still going up.
How is that happening? If we're locked down and we're in these fucking who are these people that are fucking? I tell you, it's fucking Biden's mystery fucking voters that he had that are all dead.
Oh my god!
To go into conspiracy theories.
I am not even gonna walk on that road. I am not gonna walk on that line. Because like this, like, you know, this whole entire getting back on the election stuff, man, it's just ridiculous, man. It was like me and my wife, we sat there watching news. I'm like, I'm so tired of this election stuff. I'm like, it's just ridiculous.
It's funny to me though, because obviously a lot of people get really into it. Even over here, they get really into it. And it's funny when someone loses, and then it's like, no, they've cheated, they've done this, they've done that. It's like, have they, or did you just lose? Like, obviously, when we've had quite a few different ones now. So we had obviously the main election where our prime minister went into power.
Yeah,
that was an uproar because the left really wanted fucking Jeremy Corbyn to get it, and he didn't. So they were like, no, it's got to be a recount. He's got to have won it. No, he was demolished. Just fucking get over it. And the same with Brexit. It's like even now they're still moaning. They're like, well, we need it. We need to have a go again over a referendum to get it. It's like, no, you lost. Just how about you just accept the fact that you lost the election and the referendum and this, and then just focus on making that happen so it's good for everybody. And I was saying to one of my mates who obviously he wanted to remain in Europe. I wanted to leave because I wanted Britain to be Britain and not part of Europe. But anyway, that's another story. And he was like, well, what would you have done if we voted to remain? I went, well, then I would have just got on with it because that's how you voted. That's how the country voted. Deal with it. You put it to the nation voted, and then we deal with it. What happened was you put it to the nation, we voted, and then you cried about it. That's what happened. And it was the same when obviously Trump first got in. Everybody, and what really cracks me up is the amount of people in the UK that give a shit. They're like, when fucking Trump first got in, they were like, oh, Trump's in, fucking world's gone mad. Why do you care? You don't live there. He's not affecting us.
Same thing. Oh my God. Yeah. I can't believe how much our election here, you know, has such an effect across in other nations and other countries. Yeah. It's like, I cannot believe it. Even my in-laws, my family, my in-laws, because my wife is not from the States here. She's from Cambodia. Even the people in Cambodia and the other countries, a third world country, they heard about what happened here in our election and they were losing their minds about it. I was like, oh my God, you guys got it, you know, you don't even live here. You guys
exactly. That's what I put. I put it on my Insta story. It's amazing how many Brits really give a shit about the Americans. It's got nothing to do with us. We didn't vote, funnily enough. In fact, we let you guys have the country so that you could do it yourself.
I know, and
It's crazy. And then it's obviously all the other things about Biden and kids and what have you, and Epstein and blah 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 blah. It's like Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
it's like we all know Epstein didn't kill himself. It's not a problem. If anything, it's one less pedo in the world because he did get fucking murdered or killed himself. Good. That's what I say. Good.
It's just so many, all these, the insanity that's going on here. It just doesn't make sense. It's just, I don't understand why people just, I don't understand why people just can't just, it's just like going back on what you said, just deal with it. I mean, let's make that, whatever happened. Let's just make the whatever happened better for us, man.
Yeah. And it's the same sort of thing as well with now that Biden's won. I don't know if they're doing that fucking recount or what. I'm not really. Guess what? Don't really give a shit because not my president. I don't have a president. I have a queen and a prime minister, so I'm happy. But anyway, it's like, what do they think is going to happen now that he's going to come in? It's going to be exactly the same as any other president. Exactly the same. He'll promise you everything. Nothing will change. He'll try and take the guns. It's not going to happen.
I don't even know what's going to happen. I mean, like to me, for myself, my biggest concern is just, taking care of my family. That's really it. They're the number one part.
Worry about running the country. You just make sure your family's all right.
Exactly. I mean, myself, I didn't. I mean, either one affected me. Whether it be whether it be Trump being president or whether it be Biden being president, they're gonna affect me. But the thing is that just as long as my family is still taken care of, or I'm being able to take care of my family, that's the only thing that really matters to me. Because the thing is that the thing that it's just like when you just said, it's not, everything is always the same. Everything's always the same. So they always bring up the same subjects when every time there's an election year. It's always healthcare.
Yeah.
It's always immigration. And what is it? And it's always taxes. That's the only thing that they always arguing about. And when President Obama came in, he did sort of made a great impact with the healthcare issue. I applaud him on that. I applaud him for that one because he really did tackle that issue. But then, it's always, they're still arguing about it though. It still goes on. I understand why. I don't mind.
Each president has done something different that worked for a while. From what I've noticed, I'm not some sort of fucking political genius or anything. Obviously, you had Obama that brought in, is it Obamacare?
Yes.
Yeah. So the healthcare is working. Sweet. Then you got Trump that's come in. Didn't he cut unemployment by a fucking huge margin and shit? And
he brought in money.
Whatever.
Yes.
So he's done a fucking good job with that. It's like nobody's mentioned that. He just mentioned how much of a fucking loose cannon he is on Twitter. But then again, you don't want your president being a loose cannon on Twitter and blocking people. That's weird. But and then you've got this Biden. I'm sure he's going to do something when he gets in that will be pretty good. So it's like each person does best they can. Like at the end of the day, it's a popularity contest that you've given the power of the country to one man. As Joe Rogan would say. It's crazy.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing is that our government, and same thing with you guys. You guys got the parliament, correct? The parliament runs. They make the laws and the rules. It's the same things here. The congressmen, they're the one that make the rules and the laws here. And a lot of people, they put the blame on just that one person. Yes, he's sort of like I believe. So everything got to go through Congress, and then it goes through Senate, and then president puts it in a law. So we have to talk. Our congressmen are the one that we have to deal with. We as the public, we the one that put the people into the power. I mean, and the power is the congressmen and congresswomen. And a lot of times, because you got to look at it. we got career congressmen that's been in politics for about in their 30 years, 20 years, and our president is only the most our president can ever do is 8 years.
Yeah.
So how can we put the blame on?
Change much if you've still got the same in.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's right. So that it's the same within the military as well. So I used to call it dead man shoes. So, we're within my regiment particularly, we would go, obviously you'd have a gunner, which would be myself, pretty much, and our rank would be known as an SAC, which was a senior aircraftsman, because I was in the Air Force, technically, Air Force infantry. So you go senior aircraftsman, lance corporal, corporal, sergeant, flight sergeant, warrant officer. And then if you wanted to fucking enlist, then obviously you could take commission. So you would get, basically, you'd go SAC, lance corporal, corporal, sergeant quite quickly within reason, and then it would stop. And then you would have these flight sergeants and warrant officers that had been in for 30 plus years. And you're like, how are you still in? If you guys move on, the rest of us could move up, and you would have fresh, fucking knowledgeable troops that can pass it on. We had fucking, I swear we had a flight sergeant at one point that served in the Falklands War, and he was like, hang on a minute, how has that happened? And you're trying to teach us tactics and that for the desert, and you haven't even been out there. You've been stuck on training wing teaching people fucking Cold War tactics that's not going to work in the desert when you can't even see the person you're fighting.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you get rid of those, it will freshen up and everything will go fucking well and will work. And this goes back full circle now, back to the mental health thing. So I'm part of a team called Inner Armor, which is positive psychology coaching. And what they do is they teach you, he doesn't like using the word tools, but he gives you the tools to deal with depression, PTSD, anxiety and things like that before they take hold. Yeah. So it teaches you all these different techniques. So once you start feeling a bit, you're like, oh, hang on a minute, I'll sort myself out. However, so the younger ranks that are serving in the military love it. Think it's a brilliant idea. Get it in, get it sorted. The upper echelon within like the big wigs, they love it. They think it's good. It's this fucking giant middle section that still have that stigma behind mental health. They're like, nah, it's not going to work. We're not going to vote for that. That's not coming in. It's like, fuck off. It works, you idiots. It's fucking frustrating. But yeah, it's like you just said, within government itself, you have all these politicians that weren't the cool kids at school that are now running the country.
It's so frustrating. It really is so frustrating.
And you can see why, like bars and restaurants and well, mainly bars have those rules of you don't talk politics and religion in a bar, because it fucking arguments.
That doesn't even happen at my fucking dinner table, dude. Because I mean, like, talk that shit around with my brother. Forget about it, man. We're gonna have ourselves a fucking goddamn. It's a guarantee somebody's gonna be walking out the house mad, or somebody's gonna be getting, really, physical, because it's just really, it doesn't make sense, and it's really, really frustrating. I mean, it all goes back to, why can't we just fucking
everybody love things
be? Yeah, exactly. Just what's done is done, so let's just move on with it. It's just like myself. I'm done. I'm half of a man now. Fucking suck it up and keep going. Suck it up and drive on. Fuck, dude. I'm not gonna fucking sit around and remorse over what had happened.
Yeah, you find that going back to like your injuries and what we sort of mentioned, you tend not to see. You obviously would have gone through those moments of being down and shit. Obviously, you literally just discovered that you're half a man, or half the man you used to be, should I say?
Yep.
But you find that most veterans that have suffered injuries like that literally have that moment briefly, and then it's right, I need to fucking get out of this and get moving. And I think that is really inspiring for me personally, and motivating, that you can see someone with traumatic injury like that take their moment when they need it, but most of the time it's no, I need to keep going. I need to make the best of this situation that I am now in. And it's true.
Yeah.
And honestly, now it really is really motivating and really inspiring to see veterans that have got these injuries that still, like, going back to the Invictus Games and the Warrior Games and things like that. I've never sat watching a TV show with so much pride and being so inspired, and seeing the veterans from all nations fucking smashing it out. And even going even to the Paralympics, seeing these. I watched that documentary. I can't remember what the documentary is now. It's gone out of my head. There's a documentary on Netflix all about the Paralympians and how they started the Paralympic Games and where it originated from, and seeing and how most people think that the para in Paralympic stands for paraplegic, when it doesn't. It stands for parallel, because you're just as important. You're just the same as the able-bodied guys.
Yeah.
And I watched that and I was fucking inspired by that. I was like, this is fucking incredible. And then even every 4 years that the Olympics is on, I'm like, is it 4 or is it 6?
Every 4.
Every 4 years, yeah. So it's like, it's like, wow. Like, I can't do that, and I'm fucking able-bodied, inverted commas. I've got all my limbs. I have a few down days, sure, with my PTSD and my depression, but other than that, spot on. Like, you see people launching fucking javelins, fucking almost hundreds of meters, and it's like, I can't even do that fucking normally. It's like seeing like going back to guest of the show, Mark Ormrod, and when you see him on the rowing machine, he's doing a rowing, and he's got his arm like physically attached to it, his like prosthetic arm, and he's powering through, and he's putting up numbers that I can't do on a rowing machine, and he's missing 3 limbs and I've got all mine. It's like, it's kind of embarrassing, but it just shows the dedication and determination that you guys have to make yourself better, in plain terms.
I mean, I can't speak for for anyone else but myself, but for myself, it was really just making myself better, but also making myself whole again, and making myself be somewhat equal to those that are able-bodied, but it's also at the same time, but if I were to still dwell on my situation at that time, if I was still dwelling on my missing limbs and stuff like that, I would have fucking missed this entire fucking journey where, everything would have just went past by me, man. Like, like I said, when I started riding my bike again, I met so many great people. I did the marathon ride, boom. Then I, go out and start training. I'm so surprised at how many people, I can outlift so many people. I can out deadlift so many people. I can out, because of, to just prove people what I can do. But it's not to just, at the same time, it's not just proving people wrong. It's just enjoying your life, man. Going out there and living life and having fun. Don't fucking dwell on a fucking negative shit. It's because the negative stuff is what's really going to really, really kill you at the end.
Definitely.
I mean, before jiu-jitsu, I mean, I'm not promoting jiu-jitsu, saying jiu-jitsu is the sport for anybody. But before jiu-jitsu, I was powerlifting. I was also cycling, but I was also pushing around 300 pounds. But then after jiu-jitsu, I mean, like when I started jiu-jitsu, I dropped. I'm down to like in my weight class. I'm at 195, 190 pound now, but I would have found the fun that I'm having now or living the life that I am now, because even when I was at that heavyweight, I wasn't able to do a lot. I wasn't able to walk around a lot because I was so fucking heavy that my limbs would hurt. So my residual limbs, like my hips and my back, would hurt so bad. But I mean, I was able to walk, but I was constantly walking in pain though. But to just go out there and then lose the weight, but now I'm living life now because I lost the weight, but I'm also going out on journeys where I'm meeting new people and I'm living life. I'm not instead of dwelling on the fucking past, I go out there and I try to fucking live it, man. Because God, life is too damn short.
It is.
And it's too darn short, man. When within the blink of an eye, I almost lost everything, and and the heroes that saved me brought me back, and there's nothing left to do for me to do but just raise my family and live the life to the fullest, man. That's the God's honest truth there.
And that's what we want. That's what we want. Life is too short, so
life is way too short.
You got it. And going through a near-death experience like yourself, going like losing both your limbs and what have you, it must make you appreciate life that much more. And I think a lot of people need to realize that with a blink of an eye, it could be over.
It just, people don't realize that within a blink of an eye. I mean, I even came. I mean, that's why I'm so happy to just be here speaking with you about this, because, I would just love to speak to, and mention people, like, get out there and, you can share this in your podcast. So I'm so happy to be here because I want to let people know. I mean, life is just too short. It's too short. I tell my wife all the time. My wife is always, sometimes she's concerned about money and finance and stuff like that. I said, babe, we got a roof over our head. We got food on the table. And I could give it, at least we got each other and our kids are healthy. I'm healthy. That's all that really matters
I'm forever telling my missus, like, she gets stressed over things that are out of her control. She has that part of her anxiety flares up. Like, whatever the decision going back to politics, whatever the decision the Prime Minister's about to make, she starts panicking, and it's like, it's out of your control. We need to worry about what we can do within the house. And at the minute, we're fine. We've got a little build going on. We're getting our fucking utility room fixed up. That's starting to look good. We've got a roof over our head, 2 beautiful kids, decent incomes now from the pair of us. It's like I've always said to her, and I usually say it in a jokey way. Like, I've got my wife, I've got my daughters, I've got a house that's my own, I've got a decent job. In theory, I've completed life. I've completed it. Now I'm just living. I'm just living it. And
that's it.
Anything I do now is extra.
And that's what I meant when I said, when I was mentioning to you earlier, all that really matters is just being able to take care of my family. That's the only thing that really matters. I didn't put it in that way. And when you said it's out of our control, but yes, you're absolutely right. It is totally out of our control. So the only thing that really matters is, just like you said, we got food on the table, we got our own house, and we just got to take care of ourselves. That's our most important things that really matters. Yeah. I mean, and just live it, man. Live your damn life to the fullest. When I say to the fullest, I don't mean going out there and go fucking jump out of a fucking, jump out of a fucking skydive and like that.
Let's tone it down a little bit when we say live into the fullest. We don't expect you to go and start smoking crack, right?
Yeah.
Just take it easy.
I don't want them to go out there and take chances on ridiculous stuff, but it's just live life where we can control ourselves. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that we can't control, let's just let it be, let it go. But don't fucking live in where we're like cut ourselves from society and not go take chances, whether it be like, go out there and have fun and mingle with people in life, mingle with people in society,
exactly.
Like myself, people like me and you right now. I truly enjoy this moment, our time right here. It's really, really, it really means a lot that I can sit here and spew something with you, or shoot the shit with you, or like you said, chew the fat,
Chew the
and
fat.
fucking have some fun. Yeah, have some fun and speak some, and share our minds and share our thoughts, and go out there and if the stuff that we do, the stuff that I say, or the stuff that you show can help somebody out, so be it. I'm so fucking happy that I'm able to be here and just shoot, share it.
Yeah.
It's because a lot of our veterans are brothers and sisters in arms, man. They feel like they're alone all the time. And I was there once. I was there. Luckily, I have a amazing group of people that fucking backed me up and took me in, whether it be my family, my jiu-jitsu team, my, veterans that are there that have been there, and they tossed their hand out to me and they said, "Here, take my hand, walk with me. Let's do this shit. Let's do this shit together."
Yeah, and I think what we need to all sort of learn and appreciate and do more is that it as a community, because you find that as awesome as the veteran community can be at times, it can also be the opposite. And there's a lot of jealousy and a lot of people out there that can be hurtful, and I've had it before where I've been trolled for starting a podcast. But what we need to do is exactly what you said, is hold your hand out and say, take a walk with me. Listen, talk, share, experience, express yourself. We've all fought, we've all been there, we've all done things. Some people have done more, some people have done less. Who gives a fuck? We've all strapped on the uniform and represented our country in our own way, or served our country.
Yes.
So just be kind to everyone that's done it. You don't know what fucking Karen and fucking Joe Dickhead down the road has done that is different to what you've done. They could be going through a divorce at home, and yet you're trying to dig them out for something that you don't even know. So like we've covered this whole fucking podcast, everybody love everybody and just be fucking kind.
Exactly, man. Just be kind of fucking one another. I mean, like, so be it, man. It's fuck. Yeah, I can't believe how some, people can't just grasp their minds and just figure out how we just can just get along, I mean, I am so lucky. Like I said, I am very, very lucky. There are points and times I loathe myself for feeling soft, and it's, but then I was just so lucky that people came to my rescue and came to my aid. And I at one point I was just so proud of myself that I didn't want to fucking admit that I needed that fucking help.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the first thing
hardest part is
it is,
and asking,
because it's like
to help.
Yeah, especially as veterans, as veterans that have been there. We, like I said, we were so proud, strong, and then all of a sudden we have, and people look at us, they think that, but we're fucking human too, man. Yeah. We're fucking human. This thing is not, this thing right here, it's not fucking built in a way where we're supposed to. It's not bulletproof, This thing in our head is not bulletproof. Like you said, people go through things different ways in different, situations. I mean, but for those that don't know, they need to be mindful of those that have been there and done that and seen it. And for those that have been there and done that and seen it, they need to put down that wall, put down that shield, and grab a hold of somebody, or go out there and find somebody and just speak, just talk. I mean, I'm so glad that you got this podcast going, because the first thing in my rehabilitation, getting back into society, well, when I got in, there was no such thing as podcasts yet.
No.
No. But you know, this is a sort of a therapy session right here. So, but I didn't speak to no therapist. I didn't see none. It was just me speaking to my friends, my brothers in arms. You know,
I did. I went through therapy for a little bit. It was strange. It was strange, but also I mean, talking to a complete stranger. Like,
yeah,
I opened up a lot, but now I use the podcast as like I refer to it as my journey and my journal through my mental health journey. And yeah, this is my therapy. Having like-minded people on the show, having people that I've never spoke to, never met, and just fucking talking. And like I've said from the very beginning, it doesn't matter if I'm talking about how I'm feeling. That doesn't always matter, because the sense of happiness and the sense of just talking, it brings a whole new positive light back into me. Like, I'll go into the house now and I'll be fucking full of beans. I'll be well chuffed. Mrs. will be like, "Why are you so happy?" Again, I'll be like, "I've got a new best mate." And she's like, "You've never met these people." So it doesn't matter. They're now friends. They're now friends of the show. They're now guests of the show. They're not just, you know, it's different. Like, she doesn't fully understand how good it makes people feel. Just have a chat.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable.
That's actually a bit of a lie, because she's a hairdresser, so that's all she does is chat all day. So she's therapy for other people that have their haircut. Yeah, it's just nice.
No, it's totally agree. It's just speaking to like-minded people, and everybody knows where we've been and what we've done, and we just got to get out there and just got to share it, man. Share our journey, share our thoughts, and share our highs and share our lows. But the thing is that it's the first thing to do in helping one another and getting better. To me, that's my own personal opinion.
Oh,
you know, I can't
totally agree. And I'm just gonna quickly just say that thank you very much for coming on the show and sharing. Like, it's been truly amazing and very inspiring seeing how much you've grown as a person through your injuries, and how it hasn't hindered you in any way. You're still fucking smashing life. It's fucking really inspiring, and hopefully it inspires other people that listen to the show. All 3 listeners that I've got.
You got me now.
Hey,
so you got 4 now.
Yeah.
No, I'm so happy. I'm very, very happy. Thank you so much. No, I fucking, like I mentioned to Josh, and I thank you, Josh, for putting me on with this guy. You know, because it's I never done this before, and if there's any way, some sort of way that I can help out a brother or sister in arms, a veteran or somebody, I'm all for it. And if speaking about,
I'm another one that if I see anyone veteran wise that ever wants to come on from your side of the pond and my side of the pond, if any veteran wants to come on, I'd bend over backwards to have a veteran on. If I had a fucking blue tick, fucking whoever the fuck that pops up and says I'll do it, I'll go, wait a second, I've got like, a veteran is more important to me for the show than a blue ticker. Yes, a blue ticker might get me a few more listens, but that's not what the show's about. And I say that to my daughters all the time. The show isn't about me becoming famous. It's never been about that. It's about a journey and about helping others. And
yeah,
again, Tan, thank you very much for coming on. And unfortunately,
you're very welcome.
I'm gonna have to pull the plug because 1, I'm desperate for a pee, and 2, I'm hungry as shit.
Yeah, same here. No, I appreciate it very much. Hey, anytime I'm here, man. All right. Thank you very much for having me.
I'll definitely have you back on. I'll say that to be fair, every single guest I've said exactly the same thing, because every single guest has been just as open and brilliant as yourself. And it goes for everybody that's out there that's listened, that has been a guest, more than welcome to come on. You know, this will be episode 91, so we're getting close to 100. So when it comes to 100, I think I'll be getting some more guests on and doing like a reel of different guests coming on, which is my idea.
Nice.
But
nice.
yeah, that's for another time. But I am busting for a pee. So
Had a great time. Had a great time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.